All right, next up on our show, we have a very special guest. He hails live from the great state of Illinois. His name is James Marter. He is running for Congress there in the 14th Congressional District, and we're very happy to have him on. I believe right now he's in the midst of campaigning, so we're very happy that in the midst of that, he was able to find some time to come on our show. Mr. James Marter, hi,
yes.
How are you?
Hi there, Dr. Ronnie Lin. It's a pleasure to meet you, a pleasure to be on your show here. As you can see, I'm in my vehicle out on the campaign trail. Technology is wonderful, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm here in Illinois, Illinois 14th Congressional District, running against Lauren Underwood. You might know her as the fifth member of the squad, as we do here, or the fake nurse, as she's been known. She has a nursing degree, but has never practiced it, and she used that campaign tactic to earn the seat a few years ago. It's time to take the seat back from her. Look, I'm a family man, a father, a grandfather, a businessman, been in working in the business world for 35 years. I do software consulting and been all around the world, work with people from around the world every day. And 6 years ago, I jumped into politics after my kids grew up. I'm the Republican Party chairman in my county. I've taken on some of the biggest establishment bad Republicans in the state. One of them was Adam Kinzinger, as I'm sure many of your followers know. I was there at the right time in 2018 to take him out. Unfortunately, the establishment circled the wagons, and here we are. But I'm still at it, and he's pretty much done at this point. So we're gonna forge ahead and take out Lauren Underwood. It's time this year. We see a lot of people fed up with politics. They're fed up with the lockdowns, the mandates. They're fed up with high taxes here in Illinois. And we're going to see a red wave just like you saw in Virginia, and we're going to be a part of it.
Okay, great. When you mentioned that you opposed Adam Kinzinger, did you run against him in the primary?
Yeah, that was 2018. And look, it was a different year. Look, I knew he was a never Trumper in 2018. He actually told everyone on Fox News that he didn't vote for President Trump in 2016 after the election. And 2 years into it, or really about a year out, I had some folks that were interested. I had great support amongst the good Republicans from within the district. They asked me to come and try to take him out. Thought we were going to get some national support for that race. The establishment Republicans circled the wagons, and we had an opportunity. I was only on the ballot against him. Did reasonably well for his notoriety at the time, and he said he was back with the president. Pence got him to sit down with the president, sit around the Oval table. They used that in ads during the primary, and told us how great a conservative he was, even though I knew he wasn't, and a lot of us didn't, but we didn't have the support. But here we are. It's time to fix the problem, right? Fix Washington and take out Lauren Underwood. She's the target. That's my district. New maps in Illinois. The gerrymandering is incredible, but I'm actually excited about my district. The map is great. I have tons of support in my county and the surrounding counties of this new 14th district.
Okay. Speaking of your opponent, Lauren Underwood, I believe she's one of the youngest members of Congress when she was elected back in 2018.
True.
She's currently serving her second term. But actually, last time when she was reelected in 2020, she was reelected by like 1.34%, one of the smallest margins out of all the races that happened that year. Since then, has this district gotten more in her favor, or is it more Republican now?
Well, it's because of the census. It's a census year. Illinois actually lost a congressional district, so our maps are completely changed.
Okay.
But my county's in the heart of the district. 100% of my county, Kendall County in Illinois. I'm the Republican Party chairman there. Will County, where she's from, great support over there. I think this district is going to go red this time. It's a top target race. The National Republican Congressional Committee, Freedom Works, Americans for Prosperity. These are organizations that are already running ads against Lauren Underwood. So the news media is talking about it. They know it's a potential win back, take back seat. And look, I know I've been out there campaigning, meeting parents, moms and dads, young people that are tired of seeing their kids, future being robbed of them every day with these lockdowns and kicking kids out of school, remote learning, mask mandates. I mean, people are not happy with that. 2 years of it. And I don't know what it's like in your state, but a lot of states are done with it. Illinois has been under lockdown for almost 2 years. Our governor here, J.B. Pritzker, we call him Jabba the Hutt because of his tyranny that he's implementing here in Illinois. Part of the problem with the Democrats in Illinois. So it's going to be a red wave here in Illinois, and we're going to take this district back in particular. We've got a couple I think we can win. This one, the 11th, maybe the 17th. So we have 3 districts that you could say are in play, maybe even another one in the 6th. So we're looking to, turn Illinois red. It's been a long time since we've had enough Republicans from Illinois. And then, of course, some of ours are, like Kinzinger, aren't real Republicans. So it's time to fix that and right the ship.
Okay. Now, in your current race, are you the only GOP candidate, or are you going to be in a primary?
It is a primary. It's a open seat, if you will, on our side. So there's no incumbent in the race. The incumbent 4 years ago was Randy Holtgren. I think he was on cruise control, not campaigning. Nice guy, not as strong as a rock solid conservative Republican. I'm a House Freedom Caucus American First candidate, and we've got a lot of folks think that they should jump. We have 3 carpetbaggers in the race right now, and then myself and the establishment candidate from Kendall County. So we're going head to head here in Kendall County in the heart of the district, and 3 people who don't even live in it, who think that this is their opportunity because maybe they can't win in their own districts. But I've got a solid team. We've got great grassroots support all around the district, and we're pretty much on the road to taking this thing.
Okay, so by my count, there are currently 5 GOP candidates in this race, right?
That is correct. The latest interest was a woman who filed from out of district late last week. So I watched the FEC filings. You guys might do that too. Some of your followers might. Keep your eye on it. But I'll tell you, House Freedom Caucus. I've been the House Freedom Caucus type candidate, and I will be that candidate. I will do what I say. That's their motto. We're tired of Republicans who tell you what you want to hear as a platform and messaging during a primary. They get to Washington, they become part of the swamp. The swamp needs to go. We need to end that. We need someone who will be rock solid on our issues.
Okay. Now let's talk back about the 14th district where you are from, right? What
Yes.
are the most pressing issues that are facing the residents of CD14?
Look, and I don't know what it's like in your state, but in our state, we are one of the highest taxed states in the union, and a lot of this is state problem, right? But you compound it with the federal tax problem, and what you see is our state, literally, we're driving people and businesses out of the state. That's why Illinois lost an electoral college vote. And we actually probably should have lost 2. Biden took the Trump census data and did their own, let's say, work on it. And they came up with, instead of us losing 2, losing 1. But we're driving people out of the state. Taxes are high. We're number 1 in sales tax. We're number 1 in state income tax. We're number 1 in property. I mean, we love being number 1 in Illinois in taxes and in corporate workman's comp cost. It's just driving people out of the state, and we need some assistance, not only at the state level, but from Washington to stop the madness, stop the spending spree, stop driving inflation. So you take our high taxes, you take the inflationary palaces of Lauren Underwood, Nancy Pelosi, and Joe Biden, and you see what they're doing. I mean, people's, net, take-home income that they use is being sucked up in inflation and taxes and everything else, and people are losing ground every day to this. So we need to stop the madness, stop the bleeding, if you will, and put us on a fiscally responsible task. One of the things that I will not do is I will not be a member of Congress who votes for these omnibus bills and big spending, and we need to get back to zero-based budgeting. We need a balanced budget amendment. We need to pass that. We need to make sure that we're shutting down. I'd like to shutter a lot of what's going on in Washington. Bureaucracies we don't need, programs we don't need, waste, fraud, and abuse. It's rampant in every department in Congress and every bureaucracy that's created, and we need to stop it. Congress needs to be responsible for these and stop giving unelected bureaucrats the power that they do. So I know President Trump, remember when he said he's going to take away one or two items of red tape for every new law that got passed. And I know when he was president, he actually, I think the number was like 20 or 22 that he was eliminating. And we need to get back on that track. We need to shut down everything we can in Washington, stop giving our money away to foreign countries who don't like us and use that money against us and our own people. So, these are the things that matter to me. I'll be relentless in Washington to cut the size and the scope of the federal government.
Okay. Do you believe in having term limits?
Yeah, absolutely. I've signed the U.S. term limits pledge. When I get to Congress, I will introduce that bill as promised. I'll vote for it, and we'll be recruiting other members of Congress to do the same. It's high time that we had term limits on both houses of Congress, and like we have on the presidency. I think that would go a long way to solving problems in Washington.
And to counter what you said before about how your state has a lot of the high taxes. Let me just say this: in New Jersey, we are number one in property taxes. So,
yeah, and so we might be like 2 or 3 on some of those, but when you put them all together, I think, not something we should be bragging about. Competing
I know.
Right? I mean, but that's what it's like living in these states, and we've got to fix it. I can tell you that people are fed up. We're seeing in my county, I'm seeing young moms and dads in their late 20s, 30s, and 40s. These people are motivated. They're out. We have people reaching out to me as the Republican Party chairman and other grassroots organizations, and they're fed up with this stuff, and they're awake to it because they got to see kind of some of the disaster going on in our public schools because they saw what their kids were doing on Zoom and whatnot. So lots of things going on there.
Okay, so I understand you're currently on the campaign trail. Where were you coming from, or where are you going?
Well, we're actually headed back home tonight. I was at a pro-life event in a nearby county. I was actually visiting my dad today. Took a little time off this morning. Drove down to Peoria, where I'm from. Went to church with them and spent the day with them, and then we had this pro-life event this evening, and then we're heading home after that.
Okay, great. So we like to end our interviews with a little bit of a fun question, right? So for all the viewers that are watching right now, what does James Marter like to do for fun when he's not out, on the campaign trail?
I'm an outdoors guy. I love the outdoors. I mean, just about anything, camping, fishing, canoeing, boating. I'm not very good at golf, but I like to get out there and, chase white balls around when I'm hitting it. But anything outdoors, I mean, just love the outdoors, love to be out there. I was a scout leader for 15 years, hundreds of nights camping and helping out lead our youth. Basketball coach when my kids were in school years ago, and I actually was a swimming coach for many, many years. So just love the outdoors, love sports. Anything out there, love to get involved in it.
Okay. Just one last question. I saw a report today that was actually very interesting. This report said that around 50% or even more of Democrats want Joe Biden to be impeached. If you are elected to Congress, would you support that?
Yeah, absolutely. No, look, we need to do what the Democrats didn't do. We need to do due process, right? So we need to have both the investigation to come up with what are the charges of impeachment. I can think of a few things right off the top of my head, but we need to give the proper due process, make sure there's a real investigation with real charges and real reasons. And then, but I support the process of impeachment.
Okay, so what are some of the charges that you would, bring up if you had the opportunity to?
Well, I think a huge investigation to the debacle in Afghanistan, leaving, billions of dollars of our military equipment behind, leaving our both troops and allies behind, and our people behind. I mean, there's a lot going on there that if Biden knew things, and again, due process, investigation, we need the facts on these things. But whatever was going on there, something is not right. We all know it. The generals know it. The good generals know it. There's things like that.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Marter. For those of you who are watching, if you want to learn more about James, about his campaign, you can go to martyr4congress.us, martyr, the number 4, congress.us. Mr. Marter, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy campaign schedule to come on our show and talk to us. We wish you the best of luck in your race. It's a contested primary, but may the best candidate win, right? So
yes, and I look forward to it. And thank you, Dr. Ronnie Lin. A pleasure to be on your show. Love to be back anytime.
Great. Thank you so much.